All right, what's up, everybody? We'll do a sound check.
One, two,
Um,
check.
Thank you. You, I hate when I say I'm gonna do a sound check and then they don't say anything. Can you guys hear me? It looks good. My audio looks good. What's up,
Is
Ogre? Go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, sorry. I just because I'm streaming on the side as well. Is everything looking okay to you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
your lighting's good. My lighting kind of sucks. But I thought it was better than this. But I don't know. I guess it's all right. I got a new light too, and I've been messing with it, changing it around, and
Hmm.
I think I like the way it looks, and then I don't, and then I mess with it, and then. But all right, that's besides the point. What's up, Papa Grizzly, FPV Gap, Stone, Smags, East Coast Thrills? What's up? Who else? Fly Zone. What's up? I think that's everybody. If you guys don't know, this is um, Noel. I'm glad you told me how to pronounce your name. I didn't want to get it wrong. It's like Christmas time. I don't know if you guys know her. She's old school. She's been into FPV for I don't know how long, but I know a little bit longer than me. So it's going to be interesting. I like hearing the old school stories. So I guess I'll get it started. How did you get into FPV?
Ooh, how did I get into FPV? People might know, but if they know, I'm sorry. I apologize already because I repeat myself all the time. I used to be with my ex boyfriend, and he discovered FPV through Rotor Riot. And initially, I didn't really understand the good part of it. I was like, oh, you're just flying a drone, and that's pretty much it. Especially because he struggled to tune it and everything. And then after a while, he started streaming the Rotor Riot episodes more and more on our TV. And I just was watching at the same time, and then I realized, oh, it's actually pretty cool to film. Like I was more interested in the possibility, um, in the possibility to record from new angles than the actual flying and building. So it was more the visual perspective that I was interested in, and so I was like, I guess I'll give it a go. And then when I started flying as well with goggles, that's when I also realized, oh, it's actually also cool to be in the moment, not just for the video part of it, but even just the flying is actually nice. So yeah, that's how I got started.
I've heard you say tell that story before, but I don't know if they have. And for some reason, you're on. I have you on screen, but on YouTube, you're not showing
Oh
for some
no.
reason.
Okay.
Um, I don't know why. You look good on my end. I can see you.
Oh no.
Let me see. Let me try. I'll switch something up. I haven't had this problem forever.
Yeah.
Let me try to. Yeah, you look good on my end. I don't know why you're not. It's not working.
Uh, Let me know if you want me to jump out and come back or something.
I just tried something else. I don't know if it worked or not. I guess I'll know. And since yeah, you're still not on there. That's so weird.
Oh.
Um, let me. I know what I'll do. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I will get rid of it and then add it back, and that should do it. That usually
Mm-hmm.
fixes it. Um,
And now it's time to talk about our sponsors.
now you're now you're real big. You should be. Let me make you smaller. And yeah, I can see you like plain as day. It's fine.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's not showing up on YouTube.
Hmm. And you're
Uh,
not using OBS.
I'm using Streamlabs,
Mm.
and like I said, it looks good. You look fine on my end, and then on YouTube, it's not working.
If you want me to jump out of the call and then come back in, it could be a relink to the source maybe, and me coming back on the Google Meet could maybe fix it. I don't know.
Let me try. Let me try something else real quick. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let me. This sucks. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, I saw Smag saying he couldn't see you. Can anybody else see her, or is it just Smags? East Coast. All right, yeah, more than one people saying they can't see, and I can't either. So,
I just load the page myself and I really can't see either. Sorry, it's
um,
not helping.
yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I guess we'll hang up and try again, or maybe,
Okay.
or hold on me. Wonder if I can turn, or I don't know. I don't know really what to
Mm,
do.
I'm trying to see. Surely it's not on my end, is it?
No,
Because,
you look. I mean, you're like I'm sitting here looking at it, and it looks perfect.
okay. Maybe let me try to hang up on you in our internal meeting
All
and
right,
then I'll come back and maybe the software will get the input or something.
all right,
All right, I'll be back in a sec.
okay. All right, sorry guys, I don't know what's up. I guess I'll read the chat. All right, I can see you again. Hopefully they can.
Mm-hmm.
I might try one other thing if that didn't work.
Ah, I can see it on
Yes,
YouTube
it
now.
worked. All right, we're good. You're a genius. All
It's
right.
like you remember when we were all, I mean, you might still have a Windows laptop, but sometimes you're trying to do something, it's not working, you just restart it and it works, and you're like, I guess it's still working like that. And there's no rational explanation.
I'm glad it worked.
Mm.
All right. I okay. Did you guys hear stories to begin with? Um, that's cool though. So, does your ex boyfriend? Are you in contact with him ever? About is he still in the FPV or did he leave?
So what happened is after we moved to Melbourne, we were still doing lots of FPV. That was about like 2 years after we really started flying properly. And at this stage, he really missed home. And so that's why he decided to go home. And I stayed here because I wanted to stay in Australia. So that's what happened. And then I think he still flew a little bit in France, and after a while we just lost contact, so I don't know. I mean, I still talk to him once a year or something like that, like when I have something to that I have in mind and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this or that. But last time I checked, he was more back to his drumming hobby because he was a drummer initially. And I don't know if he still has time to fly. It's always the same story, like after a while when you pass your 30s, you start being more tired to start with, and also like I know he has his own company or something like that now. So when you run your own business, you also have less time to do stuff. So I
So
think that's what's happening,
so is
which
he
is a shame. Yeah, so sorry I like interrupted you,
oh go
but it's
ahead.
a shame because recently I was rewatching my old videos, and for like, because I was talking with Schizo on my own podcast, and so it made me want to rewatch a couple more videos from when we visited Schizo in the US. And I used to always integrate Kevin's flights in my videos, and I rewatched his flying, and I was like, oh, at the time I took it for granted how he was flying, but I think he was actually not bad at all. And I'm like, oh, it's a bit of a shame if he actually stopped flying. It was good flying in my opinion.
I enjoy going back and watching like my old videos and like even like Rotor Riot's old videos and like I enjoy going back and watching like the golden age or whatever you want to say of FPV. It's cool.
Yes, yes, it's nice. It's nice to rewatch. Yeah, the old memories, the old vibes, and um, yeah, I agree.
I know you made like, I think it might have been a year ago or something. I don't know, but I think you made a video like, and I think you talked about like, what was it? It was like titled like FPV 2019 or something like that. I can't remember, but it was like kind of like I don't know. I thought about like man, it was like it was different back then. It seemed like
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah. I think it was just because I was missing the like how it was before. It hasn't been that long when you think about it, because the time period I kind of miss is like that to 2018, 2019 vibes. But
that's for
yeah,
it's
yeah.
forever in FPV though. Like how much stuff's changed. Like I feel like back then too, like vlogging became like the thing to do, and I used to love like I would watch people's vlogs for like I'd watch FPV vlogs like all day. Like it was really cool. Now it doesn't hardly seem like I mean some people still vlog, but it doesn't seem like now
Yeah,
it's like Instagram reels and stuff like that. It's a big thing. It seems like.
yeah, like I understand that a lot of people. I mean, it depends. Honestly, sorry, I had coffee and I'm all scattered, but
That's fine.
it seems like short content it has taken over, which I don't necessarily understand. I can understand it in some ways because, sometimes you just like you don't want to sit down and watch something for 20 minutes. But I feel like it's come so extreme. I'm maybe too old for this, but I don't like watching 30 seconds after 30 seconds only sometimes, and I still do it. I sit down and I'm like, I'm going to watch YouTube like an old person turns on TV. I'm like, I'm watching YouTube. So I sit down, I have a meal, and I'm watching 20 minutes, 30, 40 minutes long videos. But I feel like this is not necessarily what a lot of people want these days. And um, I know you should, it's with FPV, because what we film is really related to what we share. It has changed the vibe of the hobby, and there's a lot of like real, and it has to be your best 10 seconds on Instagram, your best 20 seconds, which is nice to watch because people talent has like exploded now. There's so much there's so much more great pilots these days than we were before. Technology has improved. Young brains are better than old brains. Obviously, you have lots of young pilots in the hobby, so it's good to see highlight reels. So, but I also miss the vlog. But maybe it's just an old thing now. Vlogging is an old thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I still vlog like I do almost unless I'm like by myself and I have like a half hour to fly or something. I'll vlog even if I am flying by myself. I'm like, oh, I'm just out here. Like, I don't know. It's like that was one of my favorite parts of back then. Like you felt like you were hanging out with the person, even if you've never even talked to him or seen him. You're like, oh, that's cool. They're at their favorite spot flying. You know, now if you see somebody see a reel, you don't know if that's their favorite spot or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. I'm sorry for my dogs. My dogs are a bit reactive for some reason. They always do that when I'm on a call. It's like, give me attention. So if you hear them bark,
They're fine.
it's just them going crazy.
What
But
kind of dogs are they?
I have three. They're all Maltese cross something. I have a Maltese Shih Tzu. I have a Maltese Poodle, and then the other one is a bit special. It's like a Maltese cross Rottweiler. So the big Rotties, like she's cross Maltese. We don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I had a Shih Tzu. He lived to be 18, and like he died a couple years ago, but he lived for a long time. So
Oh,
I like those little dogs.
yeah, Shih Tzu are amazing. I love their temper.
Yeah,
They're very confident and know what they want. I like that type of dog.
yeah. We're probably going to get another Shih Tzu eventually. Like um, I don't know. Like he was the best dog. He was really cool for like 16 years. In his last couple years, it was kind of rough. Like because he
Mm,
needed a lot of stuff and yeah, we had to take him outside. Like he couldn't hardly see his eye. I don't know. His eye was
yeah,
all messed up. Somebody.
yeah. But
I want to say what's
Sorry.
up, props off. Just popped in the chat. I didn't see him in there till just now. And what's up,
I
Hypnos? I saw you a second ago.
I can see Gareth Dix.
Oh yeah, as long as
I know him in the chat.
what's up, Gareth Dix? All right, that's a hard name to say. I'm horrible with sounding out words too like that. Oh, ogre, he's in here, and I'd never seen the word ogre written down. I don't think for some reason, and I kept calling him like how it was spelled, and like that was wrong. And then now I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. That's ogre. I can see it now, but I didn't see it till he said something.
Well, actually, I have a question for you. Why
Okay.
did you choose Nappy FPV?
Um, well, um, I don't. Have you ever heard of Nappy Roots? They were back in like the early 2000s. They were bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They were like my favorite group when I was like in my early 20s and stuff. And then I was going to a whoop race, and when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't have a name, and so I named it Drone Fun 56.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a tiny whoop race, and they were like, "What's your name?" And I was like, Drone Fun 56, and I was like, everybody had cool names at the race. And so the next time I went back, I was listening to Nappy Roots, and they were like, "What's your name again?" Because they were like they were putting it, like on the board and stuff, and I was like, and I was like Nappy FPV, and then like plus my hair. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know if Nappy where you're from means the same as us here, but I know some places Nappy means like a diaper. I don't know if so, but
That's what it is. Yes. Oh,
okay. Well, here
sorry about the dog.
like people here will say like, "Oh, you have like this will be like considered like nappy hair," but it was mainly because Nappy Roots was my favorite, and I was listening to him before I went to the race, and then like it caught me off guard, and that was like the first thing I thought of, and it
Mm,
stuck.
cool. Well, thanks for telling me. Well, yeah, that's what I thought. A nappy is like a baby thing initially, and I'm like, I wonder if it's just that, or if it's like something else,
Yeah,
like you're a baby FPV or something.
no, yeah, like I know it means other stuff, other places, but yeah, like here people like with like dreads will be like this will be considered like nappy hair or something too. So they kind of it kind of just went hand in hand.
Hmm. Yes, and it's funny because the thing that you say, some things means different things. Whether you're in England, America, South Africa, Australia, and I've learned English before coming to Australia, but then it was very academic. You know, it was like reading and official things and nice vocabulary. And then I moved here, and bit by bit, the slang, the Australian slang, I started adopting it without realizing it was really Australian. And then when I did my trip to the US, sometimes I would order some food or something, and people were like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like I went to Subway, and I was like, oh, can I have some capsicum? And the person was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just meant pepper.
What's it? What's pepper?
Capsicum.
All right. Is English your first language then or no?
No, my first language is French.
Oh, that's cool. My son, he taught himself how to speak French by on Duolingo,
Oh, yeah.
and then um, like he's actually in college now for linguistic stuff, and like he fell in love with French for some reason. I don't know what language, and we went to Quebec, Canada, just because like on vacation a few years ago, just because they spoke French, and that was like the closest French speaking country we could go to.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. French is it's a interesting choice because there's not many countries where it's spoken, but you learn what you want to learn. I'm learning Italian at the moment, so it's also not strategic, but I like the language. So
Well, he told me that French was easy to learn, is why he learned it. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what he said.
ah, It depends on the people. Some people have, some connection with some languages, and some people find it really hard with exactly the same language. So it really depends. I feel like it's a personal preference.
Yeah, it was like when we went to Canada and they were like probably about it seemed like half the people we talked to were
Hmm.
speaking French, but then some of them they could speak English also. But it was kind of cool because we're like, what are they saying? And he would know. Like I don't know, it was just neat.
Hmm.
Um, and like we talked to like a mom, and I was actually flying my drone, my DJI drone, like taking pictures, and these people were like asking me questions about it, and I was like had no idea what they were saying, and my son was with me, and he was like they're asking, and I'm like oh cool, it was cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. He could translate. That's why
Yeah,
I like languages. I like learning because you can communicate with people that you couldn't otherwise. It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
He was like he was nervous though, like he didn't want to like I think he was like second guess himself because he learned how to speak it, but like he wasn't used to really talking to people that spoke it like normally, like fluently, or that was their language. But it was still neat because he like knew what was going on, and we went to some restaurant, and, like a bunch of stuff was in French, and he knew what, like he read the menu and stuff. It was neat.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's completely different when you learn it like on an app or in a classroom, and then you're actually meeting real people, and you're like, oh crap, I know nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like he. I don't know. I was expecting him to be more like excited, like to talk to people, and he wasn't. Of course, he's like not like a outgoing person around new people anyway. So, but it
Mm,
was still cool to go and.
hmm.
Um, so do you speak? What do you speak? Do you speak French more or English more now?
Oh, English more. Like it's in terms of speaking, I don't really get to practice that much. Only when I called like some friends or some family. I try to call my family at least once a month. Same with friend. I have a best friend who lives in France, so it's like at least every second month or every month. I watch a lot of French YouTube. Like it's probably 85%, 90% French YouTube what I watch. But then everything else that I consume is in English. And now a little bit of Italian, what I can do it because I want to improve it. But I would say most of like my interactions, it's always in English. My partner is Australian. At work, nobody speaks French. Um, so yeah, it's mainly in English, which you can really tell the difference. Like the first years I moved to Australia, I was with a French partner, so at home we were always talking French, always speaking French, and when I ended up being on my own and then found my new partner, it like the the way I started thinking more in English and didn't have to translate things was just yeah, it just happened quickly than I thought. But it's funny because when I first met my current partner, I thought, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at English now. But there was still moment in our house he said something, and I would be like, I have no idea what he said. And after a while, you have a problem saying, can you please repeat? Because like you don't want to look stupid when you're early in a relationship. You're like, oh, maybe I just pretend I understood. I don't
Feel
I
like
don't
yeah,
miss that.
like yeah, you agree to something, you don't even know what it was, or
Yeah, and even my first job in Melbourne, just after my breakup, was working in a hobby shop in Melbourne CBD, and I knew a lot about FPV, but then everything else, model kits, RC planes, RC cars, I had to learn as I went. It was just like it. So I had not only I had to learn the name of things like axles and things like that for RC cars or certain type of fuel for the one that had petrol in it. But on top of that, I couldn't really understand people as well, just the normal sentences. So I felt like for the first 6 months of that job, I was acting. I was just acting. And it worked. It worked out. And then I found another job after that, which was drone pilot. So that was, I quit, but I stayed in good terms with the owners and the people working at that store. And recently I've started working with them again, but more like making videos for them, for their
Oh, that's cool.
YouTube, and for their, they have private courses on airbrushing for their model kits and things like that. And very recently they were short of staff and they didn't know who else to ask. So they asked me to go back and help people with RC cars and model kits and things like that. And I was like, oh yeah, you know what, I'll do it. That's fine. I'm free that Saturday. Extra money, right? Just before Christmas, it's welcome. And so I went there and I could speak properly and I knew what I was talking about. And I'm like, this is so much easier now that I can do all that. I felt like it was 50% easier than, even more, like 90% easier than back in 2018 when I started.
That's probably a cool. That was probably really cool. Like that. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun job. Are you into RC cars too?
I started being in RC cars at the time when I worked there. So all like in 20, it's back in 2018, 2019, that era. I never bought one, but I went to races with my boss because he used to have his own RC car. I didn't get fully into, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you what was the model he was racing. It's like a BD something. That's all I know. But it was pretty cool. He was not doing the he was doing the um, flat circuits, but sometimes I had another friend at the shop who also loved doing, the cross, the one where you have jumps and shit like that. So it was it was pretty good. I liked it. It's a complete different hobby again because it's line of sight and it's fast. Like I didn't expect. I knew nothing, and I didn't know how fast they could go, those cars. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty impressive for someone who always does FPV. Because I never really flew plane line of sight or things like that. Seeing people going that fast line of sight, I was impressed.
That's
do
how I.
you do you do any?
Well, yeah, that's how I got into FPV. There's a store here. It's a pretty big shop. It's called A Main Hobby. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but that's where I'd get my like RC car parts and stuff a lot. And I was like looking, and it was like close to Christmas time, and they actually had a Indutrix kit, like a brushed whoop there, and it had like came with the Spectrum box goggles and like a little toy Spectrum radio, and then a
Mm-hmm.
brushed whoop. And then I saw that, and I was like, that looks really cool. So I started looking at FPV stuff, and then I found Ladrib's video, and he was like building the same whoop, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then so that's how I got into FPV, was through RC cars. And then I still have some. I get them out not that often, but I still have some that are just
Mm-hmm.
sitting on a shelf. But it's cool. They're fun.
Hold on, I'm just trying to grab my dog. Give me a second. Ugh,
All right.
he's really needy. All right. Yes, the RC car, like, yeah, it's interesting to. It's always interesting to hear how people end up in a hobby. Some people were doing like a completely different hobby, especially like motorsports, and then they have either an injury or they realize it's too expensive, and then some people come from another RC hobby. It's funny, and then we're all gathered under our big FPV hobby
Yeah.
community. I think it's pretty cool to come from different backgrounds like this.
I've heard a lot of people say like they used to skateboard, and then like they've broken 20 bones, and now they're like 30 and they don't want to do that anymore. So now they like found FPV. I've heard that story a lot.
Yeah, and the thing is, that when I was young, my neighbor used to skate a lot, and I was like too terrified. I was too scared to try because all I could do was rollerblade, and I was already scared enough. And so I was like, I'm never trying skateboard. And other friends had BMXs and things like that, and I was like, oh, they're so cool. And when I ended up starting flying FPV, I felt like the vibe was a little bit BMX and skateboard and this style. And I'm like, ah, now I can be cool without actually hurting myself. I'm just hurting the drone.
Yeah, it feels a lot better if you break your drone than breaking your leg. Um,
Yeah.
I actually just found a guy local to me, like, and he rides BMX and has like a BMX park, and like I think when it get warms up, I want to go out there and like chase them and stuff. So that's like that'll be pretty fun. Like I think BMX and FPVs will go good together.
Yeah, and it's funny we're talking about this because I think we were not streaming yet when we talked about how I would like to find a whoop maybe eventually soon, especially because it's summer here. And the idea happened when I was at my local shopping center. They've renovated a bit around it, and they built like a nice skate park, and more people are going there now. And I'm like, oh, I was just driving past and seeing people having fun there, skating. And I was like, if I had a whoop, I could go there and fly around people and it's safe, you know? And I felt
Yeah,
like that would be nice to do.
they'd probably think it was cool too. Like they would, like I don't know, whoops are fun. You should definitely get one. Like it probably would like. I mean, I don't know. You probably wouldn't be as burnt out because it'd be just something different.
Hmm.
Like you said, you can fly it anywhere too.
Yeah,
Um, I have a skate
yeah.
park close to me, and like I every time I go there with the drone, um, there's nobody ever there. And then like if I go there or drive by it and I don't have my drone, like there's 15 people there. I'm like, I want to fly. I want to fly around them, but I'm always like, I don't know how to approach them. I don't like, hey, some old guy walks up to him like, hey kids, can I record you guys skating? Like I don't know how to. I'm sure if I start flying, they wouldn't care.
Yeah, I think I don't know. That's yeah. You have the vibe. You're not scary. And you have a drone, so
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah. Like but every time I've been there like two or three times with my drone. Like, all right, somebody's gonna be there, and like it'll be like either extremely hot outside, so like there's nobody there, or I don't know.
What type of drone do you have?
I have a couple 5 inches. Flyzone just said I have a Murda. He has Flyzone has they just built made a frame. It's I usually fly the Vanny style is the two that I've been flying the most. But then I just recently got an Omerta because Quad Mafia. I don't know if you've heard of them, but Flyzone. He's the one that started. He's in the chat. They
Mhm.
made their own frame. It's good. Flyzone. Thanks for asking. But yeah, usually I fly 5 inch, but then I do have a couple whoops. I thought I had one laying around, but I don't see it. Um, I have a little 1S toothpick I fly sometimes too.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's cool flying, like going from flying 5 inch to something little like that. It's just a change.
Yeah.
So like when's the last time you flew? I know you said you flew this year, but like
Mhm.
was that like a big long break since the last time you flew? Really?
Um, Let me think. So yeah, May was the last time, May, June with
Dang.
Randy. Um, and the time before, well, if I have to think, it already means it's a long time,
Yeah.
but I feel like, oh yeah, it was during a work trip because there was a time where I was driving a bit in regional Australia, which is probably similar to regional America, like US. You know, it can be very empty, but still cool landscape. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring my FPV drone when I go working regional, and on the way back after work, I can fly because at least I have everything charged and everything ready. It worked a few times. And then after a bit, I was just like, oh, I don't have time for this. Or, yeah, so I definitely flew in May. I took Randy
That's
to
all.
some local spots here, which is not really extraordinary. It was just a park and an oval for the footy. Um, but yeah, that's why I'm thinking because sorry, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm saying. It was nice to
That's all.
fly with someone, but when you haven't flown for a bit, I'm not one of these people who keep the muscle memory and can have big gaps between flying and still be at a level that I like. So putting my goggles on and flying, and also I realized my Apex build has a bit of an issue with the. I mean, my 5-inch has an issue with the VTX or the camera or the vision. I kept getting like breakouts and sometimes black screens, and I was like, oh God, I need to figure that out as well. It probably got a bit broken at some stage, and I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's probably an antenna
Um,
or something like that.
yeah, so I already changed. What did I change? We changed the VTX. I don't remember if I tried another camera on it. So what I really like doing is flying with people. And at the moment, I don't really have people to fly with. And on top of that, I don't really like fixing my drone. I've always done it, and when I was really in the heat of FPV, I had so much motivation that I could cope with fixing the drone when it was needed. But at the moment, I'm like,
that
you know,
that's my biggest problem right now. Like, I still have fun when I go fly. I still like. I don't want to. I don't feel like flying like as much as I used to, but like I still like to. And then once I go
mm,
out, I have fun just like always. But like fixing
mm,
stuff is so hard. Like the beginning of the year, I had 4 or 5 inches going like ready to go. Then one broke, and then so I started robbing parts off of it. Then the third one broke, and then
mm,
kept robbing parts. Then I had two, and now I try to keep two going, and then I'll get down to one. Will be like limping by with burnout motors, like about to fall apart, and I'll still try to fly it because I don't feel like fixing it. And then once I get real bad, like everything's broken, I'll make myself fix something. But I used to love like I used to love fixing stuff, soldering stuff. It was always really fun. Now I don't
mm.
I dread it sometimes.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if I don't know what the problem is, that's the worst. Like if I break a motor, like all right, I gotta replace the motor. It's gonna take me 5 minutes. Like I'll do that. But if I don't know what the problem is, it's like I hate that part.
That's exactly what it is. Like I don't mind. I wouldn't mind like if I burn my ESC and I see it and it's obvious. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's order one and fix it. Or like you said, you have a bent motor. Oh, okay, I'll just replace it. When you don't know, and I feel like honestly, I have this feeling that it could just be my SC is a bit tired, which would be weird because it's quite new, like comparatively to the times I actually flew with it. Like it's not new like last month, but I haven't flown that much since I changed it. Um, and I'm thinking it could be just something shorting. I don't know if you say that word in English.
Yeah, you're
Like
right. You have that's right.
yeah, a little bit because something is touching the frame, or it could just be yeah, it could be anything. So honestly, what I should do, and I know what I should do, I just don't want to do it, is taking it apart. Taking it apart, maybe going to my local electric store and buying new wires and maybe redo all the soldering properly. Like literally removing everything, keeping all the components, soldering again, and then see if I still have that problem. And maybe also using that opportunity to just swap the camera anyway to another one and see if I still have that problem. And I think that if I do that, that would maybe fix the problem, but still a chance that there's another problem I haven't considered. And I'm like, I don't want to rebuild everything and it's still not working. So,
Well,
to,
I don't
yeah, to
want
the point.
I don't want
Sorry,
to.
go on.
No, go ahead. I had a drone that I still have. I'm looking at it right now. Like I have a Vista on it, and it freezes. The video will freeze, and I've
Yeah.
replaced everything. The stack. I replaced the Vista, like, and it still does it. And so I'm thinking it's the motors, but I've been messing with that since spring, and like it'll fly fine for like 2 packs, and then it'll freeze. And I've replaced everything but the motors. So I think it has to be the motors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes you just troubleshoot, and also to add on to what you were saying with you feel the same. You used to fix anyway a lot of things and go fly, and um there's in like I've recently realized that my personality is usually more in the doing than in the I don't know how to explain. My hobbies before FPV were music, but what I liked about guitar is when I was 16, I got a guitar and then I went online and I had like chords and things like that that I could, in 10 minutes, you can start playing something and you can start singing, on top of it, something like that. Like you don't have to worry about fixing your guitar. You can just you pick up the instrument and you play. Same with piano, same with everything like that I like doing in general,
Yeah.
and because I was missing playing music a lot, I went back to it for fun, and I get my serotonin, I get my instant gratification when I play music, and I don't have to worry about, oh, my guitar is not working. Whereas with the drone, you're like, oh god, I don't get that instant gratification. And that's just how it works at the moment. That's why my priorities have shifted a little bit.
Yeah, FPV's hard because, like you said, you gotta fix stuff and then figure out. It's a hard hobby to get into too. Like,
Yeah.
especially back, I think it's a lot easier now than it used to be.
Mhm.
Um, when did you get in? Like 2016 or something?
I did start in 2017,
Okay.
um, because, yeah, but I was aware of it in 2016. So in the Christmas from 2016 to 2017, I was starting to fly a little bit with a buddy box. So, when two controllers are linked together, and because I
Yeah.
was too scared to just try on my own. So my ex was retrieving the drone if I was going too far or
That's
to land.
I've
um,
never heard of anybody do that before. That's cool. Like I knew that that existed, but I've never talked to anybody that said they did that. That's awesome.
it's awesome. Like it's at the time. I think I'm not sure if there was a simulator out, FPV simulator. They might have been, but I wasn't aware of it, if that's the case. So, and I was also a bit too much of a chicken. It's a self confidence, self esteem issue. I was like, I'm going to be shit because sometimes when I start doing something by default, I think I'm going to be terrible at it, which is normal as well. You shouldn't be ashamed to be bad at something when you first started. But anyway, that's another topic. So, I was like, I will feel more confident if you are linked to my radio and if you help me take off and retrieve the drone. So that's how I learned for the first maybe 5 to 10 times that I flew. I was like not on my own, and then after a while he was like, okay, now you have to just figure it out. But it helped. It helped mentally, and that's a big thing, to learn that way. And I liked it so much that at the time I was working with a girl who became really my one of my best friends. And I was like, Katie, I'm pretty sure you can fly the drone and at least give it a go if we do buddy box. So we linked her as well to Kevin's radio, and he took off and landed her, but she got the feeling of being in the air and like having the goggles on, and she really did well. Like she picked it up pretty well, and I think that's amazing to be able to do that. It's like when you get in a plane and you do your, I assume it's what it's like, but you get in a plane for your plane lessons, and at some stage the pilot's like, okay, it's all yours, and you're like, ah. So I think we should bring back buddy box.
Yeah, that's cool. Like that's crazy. I saw it on like on my radio. I don't know if they're still on the radios now. They probably are, but that's cool. Like I've never heard anybody say it like they've used it. That's neat. Um,
Mm, yeah.
I've seen people like on like probably like X Jets channel maybe flying like planes with them,
Mm,
but I've never heard anybody fly FPV with them. That's cool.
hmm It's even not that hard to set it up. Like I would have to fiddle a little bit again with it to remember how it is, but yeah, it was just a switch, and you flick it, and you give control. Or I think he had it on a, what was it? He was holding a switch, so it was not like a two-way. It was like the one that has an automatic comeback, spring back or whatever you call it. So he was holding it when I was in charge. That way, as soon as I was doing something weird, he would let go of it and have immediate control, so he doesn't have to think of flicking a switch. It's just I hold it the whole time and then let go and pilot it. So Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Also, honestly, the environment where I learned was easy because I learned in the Australian Central Desert, which is just the desert. So you can't really hit anything. You can't fly away, and if you fly away, you can still see it for like a kilometer. And and there was no tree to end up in, so it was pretty cool to learn in that environment. No restrictions, not being worried about hitting someone because where I lived, there was maybe like 400 people in total. And if you were driving even 15 minutes away on the dirt track, there was nothing. So
when
easy.
when you crashed, like when you were new like that, was it hard to find? Like I always had problems finding like where I crashed at when I was new. I hated that part. I'd always
Yeah,
think I
well,
was like over
yeah,
here and I'd be way over there.
yes, and I'm terrible with like spatial aware, not awareness, but like orientation. But the thing that I ended up doing, so with the buddy box, I was in like in like the desert, 15 minutes away from where we were living. But then I quickly started flying above the school that I used to work in after hours, um, and I was really high first, but at least I knew that if I was crashing, it was going to be on the school grounds or maybe the school roof. It never happened, but and then I just have to walk for 10 minutes and figure out where where my drone is. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
I want to say what's up to some people that came in. What's up, Big Oil? What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Donnie? I thought I saw somebody else. What's up, MFR? All right, I got everybody. I try to pay attention to who pops in. Um, yeah, that's great. Like a buddy box, that's cool. Like, uh, I don't know. I just didn't know anybody ever. Did anybody else you know besides you two try them with FPV? Like, did more people do that back then? Like when I first got in, I flew by myself for like ever. It seemed like not almost probably like 8 9 months before I flew with anybody.
Hmm.
So
And, and so, what did you learn on your own? Like how um, uh, uh, was it hard? Do you think it would have been easier to hang out with people, or it's the
yeah.
opposite because you had time to figure it out on your own?
Well, I got my whoop right before it got cold here, and I flew outside, and it was windy, and I didn't know you couldn't fly in the wind, and my whoop went going down the street, and I broke a prop, and then I didn't know where to get props at, so I had to wait for like 2 weeks to get a prop. And then by the time it was really cold out, or not really cold, but so then I flew inside. I flew inside in angle mode for like the first probably 4 or 5 months I flew. So by the time it got warmed up, then I got a 3 inch, and then I started flying at like uh, a school. There's a school like right down the street, and when I started flying there is like when I'd crash and have no clue like where I was at, and
Yeah.
like it would have been cool to have somebody there could like to watch me and be like, hey, watch where I crash at. And then I remember the first time I flew there for like 45. It was like 45-second flight. I was so excited because I'd been
Hmm.
just flying my little whoop around my house. But yeah, then I met Jimmy. He's in the chat. I bought some goggles off of him, and then that's like found out there was whoop racing like right like a half hour away from me. So then that's when I started meeting everybody. Was when I started going to the whoop races.
Mm. Yeah, and then it all, yeah, it's the community side is it's so good. You feel like it's not that you improve, but like you have so much. Do you feel like when you watch people, you also learn
Yeah,
more? Like, yeah.
I feel like and flying with people too. Like or if you watch like their video from the same spot you flew at the same time, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that, or I should have tried that, or
Yeah.
I didn't even think to do that. Like I think that helps me push me like too. Then like the next time I go, I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I want to try what so and so did, or I think that helps. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
fly with people definitely helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still fly with a lot of people, or when you go flying, or you're on
Uh,
your own?
I still fly. not a bunch, but a couple few people here and there. Like I fly with Hypnos, Jimmy. Um, those are probably the two that I fly with the most.
Hmm.
My friend, yeah, there's probably usually when I fly there might be two or three people, but usually there's just one. Or I do fly by myself. Like tomorrow, I haven't flown in like probably a month, and it's going to be kind of warm here. Like winter came early here, and it's been like extremely cold, and I'm not as motivated to go out anymore. So
Yeah.
tomorrow's supposed to be halfway decent, and so I'm gonna try to fly at least a little bit just to get out. But I'll be by myself tomorrow.
Mm.
It's definitely not as fun, but I don't know. I still like to try to do it. To try, just try to stay motivated.
Yeah. 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 Flying by yourself, it's if you like the flying the most out of everything you get out of the hobby. I guess it's the essential, and some people just love going out, fly. It's it's their me time. I realized later on, with the years, that what I liked was the social aspect, and I love making videos in the first place. Which is why I told you that's why I wanted to start FPV
Yeah,
um,
I like that part
initially,
too.
and so if I go by myself, I don't feel like I'm inspired. I love the flying, but then it's what you said. It's watching others and filming others doing something cool. When I say filming others, it's like I'm on the ground with my camera and them having fun or them crashing or and I realized this is what I liked in the first place. Or even if I'm not filming them, if I just go there and witness them doing something cool or funny, or that's a good time. When if I'm on my own, even if I have a funny crash, I'm like, oh, like it's not worth it.
Hypnos busted me for lying. I forgot. I flew a whoop at his house. I think I flew 2 packs last week at his house. So it hasn't been a month since I flew. I flew a couple packs on a whoop.
Yeah.
um, yeah, by yourself sucks. Like where I'm going is a really cool spot, and like I have to drive. It's like an hour away, and I'll be there anyway, or I'll be close by. So that's if I was
Mm.
just flying somewhere local that sucks, I probably wouldn't be flying tomorrow. But since I'm gonna be there's a school and it has like these, I don't know what, like these big dive gaps, and it's like
Yeah.
really fun to fly there. And I'm gonna be like right down the street, so that's why I'm gonna fly by myself tomorrow. If I wasn't going there, I don't know if I would or not, but
Mm. But that's the thing as well. I was talking about this with my friend the other day because she's a big like fan of whoops, and she used to gorilla whoop and stuff, with Bot in the US and things like that. And she said, yeah, if you have a whoop with you, you can fly at your work. You can fly during your lunch break. And my work is actually pretty cool. Like the location itself, like we're renting a building with multiple people in it, but it's like an old building, so there's lots of wood parts and beams on the main. It's like a mezzanine. I don't know if that's the proper word as well, but like big open area, and it has like beams and plants. Um, I could just fly around there for 10 minutes, and that would give me the feeling that we actually like, just having goggles and being in the air, or even flying in my neighborhood with the little drone. I don't have to worry about it's noisy or it's. If I had a whoop, I could pretty much just have it with me and be like, okay, let's just go,
you
let's do it.
you should try it. Probably I don't know like every I always say I want to fly more whoops, and then I'll get it out a few times. I always get like racing here. Whoop racing here is pretty big in the winter, so I always try to join at least a couple. Then we have a Air Force Museum race at the end of winter every year, and it's like
Hmm.
they have like 64 pilots come. It's like a really big event. It's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I always try to go to that. So for me, like when I fly whoops, it's usually for like the racing, and I'm not good at it. So like, but it's just fun. Um,
Yeah.
but I do like to freestyle whoop sometimes. That's why I mainly my little toothpick is pretty much a whoop. It's 65 or
Yeah.
it's 1S. It's like I think it's about 65 millimeter. I don't remember,
Hmm.
but it's fun to fly. Um, and it's carbon fiber frame, so it doesn't break like a Whoop when it's cold.
Yeah.
But inside, yeah, like if I had a cool spot to fly inside, I would definitely probably fly my Whoop if I could take it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that makes me doubt is I used to have a newbie drone which was flying really well at the time for a small drone, you know. I forgot which one I had because I had a couple different ones in a row. But anyway, um, but if I was flying too many batteries in a row, I would start feeling a bit dizzy, you know, like um, motion sickness. And it's a ongoing recurring issue that I have with FPV. For some reason, I was never sick flying 5 inch, 3 inch on analog. I never even questioned if I could do it. I just, you know, when I learned, I started doing it. I didn't even have goggles when I started flying. I was watching on a tripod. I was watching
Oh
a
dang!
monitor on a tripod. So that's how I started. I wasn't sick. Then I got Goggle Box. I wasn't sick. Then I got my first Fat Shark secondhand, was fine too. And it's only when I started flying the tiny newbie drone that if I do two, three, four, sometimes two packs, and I would just get sick. And then HD by DJI is making me sick as well on normal 3 inch and 5 inch. Um, and I don't know what. I don't know if I don't know what does it. People have said it's the field of view. It could be latency, but it doesn't explain why on analog on Tiny Whoop I get sick. And recently I went back to Simulator, which is Velocidrone, and I used to do hours after hours of Velocidrone without being sick, and now I'm sick on Velocidrone. So I
Sometimes
don't.
Velocidrone makes me. I don't really feel sick, but I'll feel. It makes me feel weird, kind of. Like I don't sim that much, but whenever that whoop race is like going to happen at the Air Force Museum, they put
Mhm.
the track out like a couple weeks before. So like I'll do it a lot. That way I know the track when I get to the race. And if I might do it like for like an hour or something, like I'll start to feel a little bit sick.
Yeah.
But I get sick if I watch somebody else fly, like not like not like on YouTube or something, but like if I or even put on my own goggles to like watch the DVR to see where I crashed, like I'll get a sick feeling then.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't like analog or DJI doesn't bother me when I'm actually flying, which
Mm.
I'm glad. That would suck.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just I wish I had an explanation for this. It's just a bit silly, but I've been getting vertigo, which I never used to have as well. So I wonder if it's linked, you know, like actual like you wake up. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, and as I you know try to stand up, everything spins, and I have to most of the time I have to call work and be like I cannot really work right now because I couldn't drive. It's not safe. Like I can barely go downstairs, and I have to rest and try to do a specific like it's called a maneuver, like you know I have to turn my head a second way to try to fix that because the doctor said it has something to do with crystals in my ear that are not at the right spot and I need to go back in the normal spot. And
It's
I'm like, it's not great to age. I feel like I didn't have that in my 20s, and then I turned 30, and suddenly, bam, all these things are happening, and I'm like, oh.
it,
And I don't know if it's linked. I don't know if the fact that when I was starting to fly a Cinewhoop, it's not the Cinewhoop. It's because this problem was starting happening unbeknownst to me at the time. You know, I don't know what's the chicken and what's the egg in that story.
it probably is. It probably is linked together then.
Hmm.
Um, I have I do you I got a question. Do you fly or not fly? Since I'm always talking FPV questions. Are you into film photography? I remember I saw a post and you were talking about your first roll of film. Do you
Yes,
still? All right.
yes. I That's a good question. I have one film camera, which is a point and shoot. So it's not yet the ones where you have to change all the settings, like
I
on the DSLR but film equivalent. I have a role that is in progress, so it's gonna be my second role. Yes, I love film photography.
I dove into film photography at the whoop race that we had. They had, cause I was talking about, they have it in end of February, and I ended up buying a couple throwaway film cameras, like the disposable ones,
Ah, yes.
and then like I got hooked, and then so now I don't know if you like what look on YouTube. I'm showing my one of my cameras, one of my film cameras, but like I take that's like my second hobby, or it's really becoming one of my main hobbies now is
Nice.
film photography. I started developing it and everything. It's really fun.
Where do you develop? Do you go in a lab or do you do it at
No,
home?
I actually have as I do it at home. I have like I can send you a video or a link to like how you can do it at home. It's not that bad. Like they have these little tents. They're like called blacklight tents, and you put your everything in it, and you have to load this canister. Like you can't see it because it's dark, and it's kind of tough. But like the whole thing's rewarding. It's like it makes you think about, well, you know, like with film, you're not just out there blasting pictures because every time you hit the shutter, it costs money.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it's cool. I saw that and I'm like, oh my God, somebody else is like dumb enough to get into film photography in 2025. That's cool. Um,
Yeah, that's cool. Your camera is really cool. Like,
yeah, I got
it's
this.
nice.
I got it for a couple dollars, and I did, and then I like put new light seals on it and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think I had to buy the lens. I don't remember. I got it for pretty cheap. But yeah, that's cool. Like I saw you post that like it was your first roll of film, and then have you posted any pictures from it other than that one post that you made?
No, I don't think so. I think that they are pretty much the, well, I haven't posted. I have more photos than the ones that I shared, but I shared my favorite. And the role that I have in progress, I hope to finish it this summer. Like I'm on holiday as of today. So I want to go to an old school theme park in Melbourne, which has like some very old school roller coaster. Um, it has like all these old school vibes from like vintage kind of theme park, and I just want to go there on a day where the sun is actually quite nice, not like gray, like terrible Melbourne weather like today, and go there and just take photos of the vibes. Like I think it will be cool to finish my roll, and I might even bring a second one because I feel like I don't have that many shots left on my roll, and if I don't get a second one with me, I'll be disappointed. I'll be like, ah, now I'm out of shots.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Like my I live in a small town, but it's like there's a bunch of old buildings downtown, and they're like really cool. And I've like go down there and just walk around and like if you're looking like photography stuff, you look at stuff different than just like walking. And you're like, oh, that's cool. And
Yeah,
and then like I've like bandos, like I'll go to like bandos and want to take a bunch of pictures and um,
yeah.
so yeah, what's your point and shoot? Point and shoots are cool because you don't have to think about anything too. You're just like you get the
Yeah,
picture.
I have it here. I think it's Panasonic something. Where did I put it? Oh, give me one sec. I'll show you.
All right.
Sorry, my dog needs to jump.
All right, I'm reading the chat. What? All right, Lamball, check him out. Low Presty. Yeah, drones got me into photography too. East Coast Thrills.
I'm back. It's
Uh,
not a Panasonic. It's Olympus. I don't know why I said Panasonic. Um, it's like an ugly one. It's like a 90.
that's cool.
Because everybody loves the cool ones from the 80s, the retro ones, but mine is like this weird stuff. It's very like when I saw it, I was like, it makes me think of RoboCop, but like the later cartoon from the 90s that I used to watch. Um, and it's point and shoot. So I'm still I like the zoom on it because I can zoom a little bit, which is the only function I can change. And on top of it, I can't change much, but I can say if it's a night shot, if it's a portrait, if it's landscape. But I can also shoot fast targets, so I have a fast shutter speed option on it, which is cool too. Which I haven't tried actually. I should try it next time I go to I could try it at the F1 Grand Prix. I'm going there on next year, so maybe I could
You'll have,
try it there to see if
you'll
it's
have to
working.
shoot something really. It'll be really fast. Then maybe when they're on their slow laps.
Yeah, I mean it's probably more gonna be for the V8 part, or like if it's fast, but like if I'm able to see it in the distance, so it's still fast, but not like right when I'm next to it. Um, yeah, it's I love it. I like that it's this weird clunky big thing.
Yeah, when you said point shoot, I was thinking like one of the small ones that like can fit in your pocket or something. But that's
No,
definitely
but this is, I would love to have one that, because I assume the one you have, you can change more things. You can,
yeah.
you can really, yeah. So that's why I called this one point and shoot, because I still think that, you're barely in control. Can you change the ISO, not the ISO, but like um,
The speed.
can you change, yes,
Yeah,
yes, this
yeah.
kind of thing?
You get yeah. This is like you can change everything. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's
it's,
cool. And then you can experiment. Can you do long exposure?
yeah, it
For,
has it has the bulb setting and everything. Yeah.
that's cool.
Um, yeah, you probably didn't think you were gonna get asked a film photography question. But I think film's cool. Like when I got those disposable cameras, like I sent one out to Smags and Big Oily, and they took
Mhm.
went to Bandos and then like once I started getting those pictures back, like it just brought me back to like back in the day, and I was like, so then I started looking at Facebook Marketplace and looking
Yes.
for cameras and then started watching YouTube videos. Like any hobby I get, like the first thing I do is start going to YouTube and like watching videos about it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then and then I was like, well, it costs $20 to go get a roll developed, and then I was like, I can develop a roll for $2 if I spend $200 now and get all the like it was kind of expensive. Not I mean not too crazy expensive to get everything to develop at home. But
Hmm.
now I develop stuff like I can develop a roll for pretty cheap, like probably a couple bucks, $2, and then
Nice.
black and white's a little bit easier to develop, and it's a little bit
Hmm.
cheaper to develop too. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, that's cool. Like when I saw you post that picture, I was like, oh, um, I got my buddy. He was into photography back in the day, and now he's got film cameras and he flies FPV a little bit now, but like we talk almost daily about like sending each other pictures and stuff. So
Hmm.
I think that's
Do
cool.
you do you do your own scan? Like, do you
Yeah,
print as well, or what?
I
What do you do? What's your process?
I develop them, and then I do have a scanner. It's like a Kodak. I forget what it's called. I got it. They sell for like a couple $100 on Amazon, but I got mine for 100 from some like older man that was selling it because he took a bunch of his like family pictures from when he was like growing up and stuff, and he
Hmm.
scanned them, and then he didn't want to scan anymore. Like
Yeah.
he didn't buy it for like the reason that I wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I scan it, and then I don't develop them. I've thought about I want to develop some, or not develop. Like I haven't printed any out, but I want to. Just I don't know, just for the whole old
Hmm.
school vibe.
Yeah. We got our first scanner this year, not for me even, because I was happy to take my rolls to a lab and just get it developed and processed there, and then print it on my own somewhere else, because you can print pretty much everywhere. But for family reasons, my partner got his box from the previous houses where he used to live, and he has like all the negatives, and we needed to scan a
Oh,
lot of them. And so he found the scanner. It's a Kodak thing from Amazon as well. And I told him, it's consumer grade. I don't know how good it's gonna get because you never know. Like it was the first time I was gonna do it. Scan a bunch of stuff, and then it's pretty good. Like it turned out really good for what we needed, and even took some of them to get it printed and make an album out of it. And now I'm like, well, now I'm one step closer to being able to do everything at home if I learn how to develop them. So it's in the back of my head as well.
I'll send you some videos of what I watched, and like really, it's not. You got the most expensive thing, really. Like the little tent thingy that, like the black room tent is probably. I mean, you can get them that are like $100, but I mean, like the one I have was like 30, and then you need some jars or some like containers to keep the like the chemicals in. It's not bad. Like I can, if the hardest part is loading the canister, because once you get the
Mhm.
canister loaded, you can pull the film out or pull it out, and like it can be in the light. But then you got to load it in the dark in that little tent, and like sometimes I can do it in like 2 minutes, and then sometimes I swear I'm like. I've had to take me an hour to load 2 rolls. Like it's cheaper if you do 2 rolls in there because you can do two at a time, and so then you're not
Mhm.
wasting the chemicals. So like I've loaded 2 rolls in like 5 minutes, and I've loaded 2 rolls in like an hour and a half. Like it just
Mhm.
I've gotten better at it, but that's the hardest part is loading that canister. But yeah, you should. Like I said, I'll send you a video or whatever, and it's like you'll probably want to do it because it's way cheaper and it's fun. Like it's the whole process. Then you pull them out, and you're like looking, you're like, oh my god, it worked. Like I probably developed 20 rolls, maybe more, and every time I pull them out and see the pictures, I'm just like, it feels really cool. I'm like, it worked. It's like exciting.
Yeah, it is interesting how um like how can I say, I love photography obviously, and I love video, but I never really questioned it because when I was a kid I used to have the Kodak point and shoot that then you discard because they're not usable. Didn't really question that because I was a kid, and then pretty early on we moved to having the family camera, which was digital and was probably a big pixel, but we thought it was amazing at the time. And that's how I started taking photos, and then you kind of take it for granted because starting to have your own smartphone when I was 15, and I had a camera on it, which was crap as well, but you're still taking photos.
Yeah.
And then I had my own DSLR and never really questioned it until I started doing it professionally. And I started having to stop using the auto mode, and I needed to learn, the actual settings, what they do. And because you learn how it works, you learn why it works like this, and how it was in the previous versions of the cameras, and that's what led to how it's working now. And that's why when I went back to photography, I'm still amazed to that as human we were able to make that up. We were like, oh, how neat would it be to see a scene and be able to keep it and have it on a physical paper. Sometimes I still think it's incredible and it's magical, the way we made that work. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like if you think about it like that, like I've never even thought about it like that. That is crazy. It's somebody just like, it'd be cool if I could get this on a piece of paper
Yes,
and
and
figure
it's
it
like
out.
you literally capturing reality. Like, it's I find it. I only realized it like a few years ago. It's like it's pretty amazing when you think about it. That yeah, because for my work, I got to I started to having to document a lot of infrastructure milestone in Melbourne. Australia is still like developing a lot. Like it still feels such like a new country when you think about it, especially coming from Europe, where you take everything for granted. You take the Paris underground metro, you take it for granted, whereas Melbourne didn't have one that is a big network underground, didn't have one. It only opened last weekend, So I got to capture that for work and document it and see giant tunnel breakthroughs, with like literally old school, like, you see a big wall falling and there's this giant digger that comes out of it. Like it's so impressive to be able to see that, to see big construction, big infrastructure taking place. I used to drive on freeways and go on big bridges, and never once I thought, what did it take to build those bridges? And since then, I've been able to see big structures being built, and that's doing that work. I was like, this is what made me realize how much videography and photography is a beautiful art. We get to document things for future generations, hopefully. And then that's what made me think, this is amazing that this real thing that happened, now we have like memories of it that are forever. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did FPV help like your photography? Do you think?
Yes, because uh, I don't do only ground photography. I do photography from with a Mavic, right? Mavic 3. And it definitely helped with being curious. You always think, what is the next angle I could get? What's happening? What is the next angle I could shoot it from? And with FPV, it's a little bit the same thinking process. When you fly at a spot, you're like, okay, I've done this line. Is there another line I could take? And I think when you train that curiosity in the first place, and because it's visual with FPV, it's the same. You get a camera and you start being like, okay, that angle is pretty cool, but is there another angle that I could try that will also be cool?
Um, I kind of always like wanted to get into photography, never really did, and then once I got into FPV, well, then like I started vlogging, and then I had like a GoPro I vlogged with, and then I
Hmm.
started getting cameras, and I like started learning and stuff about cameras, and that pushed me to get into like more photography.
Hmm.
Just that part of it did.
I remember when was still not knowing what I was doing, even in the early days of vlogging, I was shooting my videos on auto mode. And I remember it was about the same time as people starting putting better GoPros and stuff on their drone. And then there was this whole debate about putting ND filters on GoPro. And people were still wondering, a lot of people were still like, why do I need ND filters? What are you talking about? And Nerk FPV did this whole video tutorial. I think it was him who was the first, talking about ND filters and how it works and what it means to have shutter speed on a camera. And he was talking about GoPros initially, and that's when I started learning this kind of things. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should look into technical stuff a bit more.
I used to put indie filters on back in the day to hide the jello. Was what I would main reason I
Yes.
would use them.
Yes.
Because I the session 5, you couldn't hardly use it ever. Like if it had a little barely a bent prop, you'd have
Hmm.
crazy jello if you didn't have an ND filter on. That's the main reason I always used one.
Yeah, yeah.
um, all right, how'd you get started with your podcast? Like I don't know how many people here's watched your podcast, but you guys should definitely go check it out. You've had all kinds of, I guess could call them famous people on your famous FPV people on your podcast. Like, how did you get started with that? Like, I really enjoy. That's why I do my live stream. It's kind of like your podcast, but um,
Yeah.
I enjoy getting to know people and like ask questions that are like you don't learn from watching on YouTube or Instagram or whatever.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, it's mainly because I like, the social interaction. It's a combination of different things. It's when I ended up being in Melbourne, I started flying a bit less after a bit because less people were flying. I was missing the community part of our hobby. And I was never a podcast person. I landed in the podcast sphere in terms of even just listening to them very late, like only when maybe what four, well, when I started my podcast pretty much. So I started listening to podcasts, and there were some of them that I really liked. And there was this specific one, it's two women discussing cinema. It's pretty cool. And I was thinking, oh, well, sometimes you just need to be shown that other people like you are doing things. And I was like, oh, well, these two women are they're, they're pretty inspiring in their own way. I could relate to them. I was like, you don't need to be that. Um, you I mean, you can be almost anyone and have a microphone and talk. Like it's been proven since then that everybody has a podcast. but but at the time I just didn't think I could do it, and it's only by listening to this podcast specifically that was like, okay, let's do one, because I feel like talking to my old friends from the community and new friends and people that are not my friend but that I always wanted to pick their brain. And I didn't feel like I could do it on my own. I felt a bit like not enough self-confidence, so I asked Lexi, Mayan High, to be a co-host, just to to start, and she was pretty keen. And so we started episodes together. Sometimes she would be on, and sometimes she would be off if when I had another guest, because time zones were a bit conflicting. You would know about time zones issue. Uh, and that's how it started. It started very simply from just being inspired by one podcast, and then the will to just talk to people I liked, either whether because they were already my friends or because I thought they were pretty inspiring in the hobby.
Is there anybody like that you haven't had on that you want to try to have to get on or?
Yes. So I have two rare Pokemons. The legendary Pokemons I want. They're not that legendary. Well, there's actually more than two, but some have already said no because they're not a they're not comfortable with talking. Even if my podcast is not like yours and it's not live, they still don't feel confident, even if the cameras turn off and everything like that. So, but I respect that. So they've said no, and that's fine. So I think I will never have them on the podcast, which is a bit sad. But I have one that said yes. So Johnny FPV was pretty keen this year. He's a busy man, but he was like, yeah, let's try to make it happen. And then something, we had a date and everything, but something conflicted again in our schedule, so we couldn't make it happen. And I'm like, fingers crossed. I'm like, I hope he hasn't like decided to never come again on the podcast. So I'm like, I hope it's just a postponed situation. Um, because he's one of the pilots from that era that we're talking about earlier, the 2017, 2018. He was in it before even. That he's one of the pilots that I actually don't really know that well personally, and that's why I was thinking the podcast is a good way for me to have a chat directly, because we don't have that opportunity. I can't just tell someone I'm giving you a call to get to know you. That's pretty weird. So I'm using the podcast to be like, hey, I want to get to know you a bit more than just what we see. And especially Johnny has always been very good at protecting his like private life, and even how he thinks. So like all we get to see is what he does, and what he does is pretty has always been inspiring in my opinion. I feel like he's always been ahead of the trends he for a long time, and I think he still is. And I'm just curious to know what kind of person he is, because I think it's, yeah, I don't know, I'm just intrigued. I want to know.
Yeah, like I don't know, like my favorite. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I always enjoy having people on that were before me too. Just like I had Zoe on, and like I had no idea. Like I knew she was like OG, but like I didn't know she was like OG. And she was like talking about like all kinds of like stuff I didn't even know. I'm just like, dang, that's crazy. Um, like
Yeah.
I feel like people now get into FPV spoiled, like other than like I was spoiled compared to like hearing her stuff.
Mm. Zoe is amazing. I love her, and she speaking of, sometimes you need to see someone to think you can do it as well. When we were watching all those Rotor Riots episodes before I started flying, when I was like wondering, should I do it? Could I do it? There was an episode where she was a guest, and explaining her flying, and that she was flying 3D even, and I was like, ah, so this woman is doing it, which means me as a woman, maybe I can do it as well. So
Was she
she,
flying an X
so,
class 3D X class in that bridge? I think she did that
she
one
was
time.
flying. Yeah, I wonder which episode it was. There, it's this. it's a bit melting all together now because she's put a lot of content.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was an X class in that episode, but then I realized she was flying X class. When I went to the USA, I visited her in California, and she had an X class event going on, and
That's
went there,
crazy.
and like this is the craziest thing that I've ever seen. I think that's pretty cool. Like, yeah.
I've never even seen one, but I bet that like makes a 5 inch look like a tiny whoop or something, or smaller.
And I was there with when I visited her. There was also Zorro with PV. We kind of gathered for that event, and we were just there as spectators, and we were just joking with Zorro. He has such a big sense of humor. Joking about the size of things, it feels so disproportionate. Like there were batteries that were this size, the size of my face. Like, this is insane.
I had Zorro on too. I really like him. He back in the day he was like my favorite YouTuber. Um,
Yeah.
and I asked him to come on. I was like, oh, he's gonna say no, and then he was like, yeah, I'll come on. And it sucked. Like I had it planned out, and then my daughter had a concert at school, and it was supposed to be over at a certain time, and it went on like 45 minutes
Uh,
later. And he was like,
yeah.
all right. He's like, I can push it back, but I have to be off at this certain time. And I was just like, I got a million things I like planned on talking about, and then we were only on for like 35, 40 minutes or something. He had to go, but yeah,
Hmm.
I bet he's probably funny to hang out with. I used to love his vlogs. I think that's like really got me into wanting to vlog was watching his stuff back then.
Yes. And his energy is contagious. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I also pick up on people's energy. I don't know if it's that, but I feel like specifically with him, when I was around him, all I wanted to do was make jokes and laugh, and just do funny shit. So he's a great person.
What's up, Super Deluxe? Speaking of Zorro, there's his buddy Super Deluxe.
Mm.
Jimmy, you flew in X class. I didn't know that. What's up, Fun Per Volt?
I'm reading the chat as well.
Blackberg was a great guest on the podcast too.
Hmm. So, can I ask you also? So, obviously, you like chatting with people, and that's why you started the podcast. You were curious about people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the question. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I thought that was leading into the question. Yeah, like I wanted to do a stream forever, like, and then I was always talking to like my buddies, like let's do a stream, let's do a stream, and then like I started doing it, and then like I was just like playing people's videos and just talking. I was by myself, and then it really wasn't. I didn't like the entertaining part by myself,
Hmm.
and then I forget like I had like somebody, I think it was Technique, was watching, and I was like, hey, he's like, yeah, you want to come on? He said something about wanting to come on or something, and I talked to him, and then I started having just like one thing led to another, and I was like, yeah. Then I was like, oh, it'd be cool to ask so and so. It'd be cool to ask. Then I started like just asking my friends, like, hey, you want to come on? And then it just I started branching out. Like it was kind of weird. Like I'm like, are people gonna think I'm weird if I ask them like, hey, I don't know you, but do you want to come talk to me? But now I don't care. Like now it's not. I don't feel awkward at all asking people. I'm just like, well, we watch somebody's video like, oh, they'd be cool to have on or something like that, and I'm just. But yeah, I like to talk, and I like this part of because you don't get to like I don't know. You see people on YouTube and Instagram, and you don't really I don't know. You don't ask questions, then you just listen to what they say or what they show. You know.
Hmm. Yeah. I feel like our society talks, not to get deep, but I think it's the case. Like you said earlier, there's not many vlogs anymore to start with. So there's a lot of reels. It's become very anonymous. And if you like someone's flying, these days you pretty much have to invite them on a podcast or something, because otherwise you don't really get to learn about them. And in general, society at the moment, with so much between our screens scrolling. We don't really chat. You can't consider. I don't consider the comment zone as a dialogue zone. Comments are pretty much I put my opinion there and that's it. So it feels good to be able to reach out like you do and be like, hey, I like your vibe, do you want to come chat? Like we need that, like humans, we are social people and we need that dialogue. And at the moment we're a bit in an era where we feel very lonely behind our screens all day. We need that dialogue.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I like I said, that's like one reason I like your podcast. I wish more people would do it. Um, like it's really cool to hear people's stories or talk about like, oh yeah, the first time I flew, this happened, or I met so and so
Mhm.
and we did this. It's like I don't know. Super Deluxe wants to know what your dog's name is.
Oh, sorry, the dog names. So I have they're all like Japanese inspired name, and I hope it's not too much of a culture appropriation. But my partner's into drift, and like I love karate, so I feel like that's why we got influenced by that. But my first one is Momo. Then there's Zumu, which means zoomies because she loves running around and doing zoomies. And the last one is Fuji, like Mount Fuji, but also the Fuji film.
Is that what kind of film you shoot? Fujifilm?
No, I have Kodak, but I was
Kodak.
not gonna call my dog Kodak. Yeah.
He said he put out the Zorro signal.
The Zorro signal.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like your podcast. Like I wish more people would do stuff like that. I don't know if anybody really does. Like I can't think of his name. He used to do interview style live streams. I can't. I used to love watching his stuff. I can't remember who it is now. Edrone. He used to like have guests on all the time, but I don't think he's done
Mm,
a. I don't think he's done a live stream with a guest, and I don't even know how long it's been. Unless he does, and I just don't see him. But I used to like watch his
yeah,
stuff
I
too.
remember that actually. And also, back in the days in Australia, there was a FPV podcast, and it contributed to pushing my channel actually, because their big thing was to invite people who were under 1,000 subscribers and get them on the podcast and get everybody to subscribe to push them to 1,000. Because at the time, with YouTube algorithm, if you were reaching 1,000 subscribers, there was this, I don't know if it was a rumor or, but I think it worked pretty well for me. It was this thing that then YouTube would try to push you more a little bit. And so it was called FPV Life with Vec FPV from Perth. And that's the first FPV podcast I went on. And it was pretty cool. They were pretty good at what they were doing. But in terms of old FPV podcasts, there was also the one by Gapit. I forgot what it was called, and it was really well done. I really like this one was different. I don't know if they were live streaming. I can't remember, but it was very organized. It had like proper segments, and sometimes they had a guest, and then they had the news section, and I really like the Gapit one. And then obviously everybody knows like the ethics podcast. Like it's not ethics. I forgot what it's called.
I
And then there were many of them, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I think I've watched the Gap at one before. I don't know if there's any now though. Like I don't know. That's
Oh, there's one made by Quadverse. So there's yours, obviously. There is I can't remember if the name, because I know the person, but I don't remember if it's the name of his podcast or not. Yeah, Quadverse, a micro FPV podcast. It's pretty cool. The guy is chill. We should actually we kept talking about recording an episode together, and it didn't happen. It's cool. It's chill vibes, and he has random guests as well. Like, I remember one day we had the same guest 2 weeks in a row. Like I didn't realize, and so I was like, oh, that's cool that you got her as well. And yeah,
I
you should check him out.
I wrote it down. I'll check it out. I've done. I'm trying to think who's I've had somebody. Oh, it was I can't think of his name. Shelby Vole. He had somebody on his stream, And then his, I don't know if you ever watched History Room. His isn't like this where they dive deep in like the conversation, but I had like 2 days later or 3 days before, 3 days after he had him on, I had him on. I was like, and I had no idea. Like he streams on Sundays, and I usually stream on Wednesdays, so we had the same guest on the same time. I don't remember who it was now. What's up,
Mm.
Kazi?
I can see my friend Randy is in the chat. I mean, she was. She's the person I was talking about that we flew together this year in May. So, hi, Randy.
Oh yeah, TVS Couch. That's. I thought I saw Randy too. I'm going back to look.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Um. Fun fact. Fun Provolt tore the bumper off a Nissan Leaf with some quad, same quad.
Mm.
um.
And
All right, I get my last question that I
mm-hmm.
have written down. Like how did you end up? So you still fly a um, what's your frame you fly the
Apex.
Apex? Yeah. What? So when Mr. Steele gave you his drone, how did that happen? And which frame was it? Was it like was the Alien? Is that what it was called? Or
Yeah, it's funny because I can't really remember. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember what happened. So I have to make sure there might be things that are not that I made up because that's what you do when you get older with your memories. But so we were just in contact because but the community was quite small at the time. So I used to leave comments under his videos, and then ended up starting chatting. That's about the same time I think he started his podcast, and that's also when I was like, oh, you're the only podcast I listen to, because I just told you I used to not be really listening to podcasts, and I only listened to their podcast because I loved Konasti, Ruben, Steele. There were really three pilots that I really liked. At the time, I didn't know Ruben. I discovered Ruben through their podcast. Anyway, we're talking about this, and then there was this time where Steele built his van, I think, and
yeah.
so I used to have a van as a backpacker, so I could have been relate about the van life. And I don't remember what happened, but I think it was his birthday. We both born in March, and so we were talking about this, and I sent him a gift. I think it was a gift so that he would use it during his road trip in the van, because he was about to do his first road trip or something. And I think that's how it happened. And because I sent a gift, then he said, I'm going to send you a drone. And also, I think because at the time I was flying another I was flying another make of drones that I really liked. But people kept saying, oh, you should try the Australian one, Impulse RC. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I got a pretty good vibe going on with the not only the person that was making Armaton drones, I mean frames, but also I like the frame. I genuinely like the frame. I think they were good quality, and they were the first good frames I really flew for an extended period of time. So I was not really keen on changing with Impulse RC. So I think maybe he also sent it to show me how good the frames were. I don't know. And honestly, they both, like both brands at the time, were on par. Like I think they had their strong pros and cons. Like it was pretty. Both of them were pretty good. And then eventually, I did change to Impulse RC for multiple reasons. It was a time in the hobby where I was starting to be a bit like not really motivated, and also personally nothing was going right, and I projected my my frustration on the frame that I used to fly at the time, which was from Armaton. And I was like, this is the frame. The reason I'm upset right now, it's all because of the frame, the new frame that they had put out. And I was like, maybe if I change frames, I will feel better. It kind of worked a bit. I think it was a circumstance, like several circumstances in a row, and I ended up flying Impulse RC Aliens, even though the Apex was out. And then I reached out to Impulse RC. I'm like, I would like to. I had never really reached out to sponsors, so I felt a bit weird, but I was just like, I'd like to try the Apex. Is there a way I could try it? And they were like, yeah, no worries. Just we're sending you one if you want to try it. And that's how the shift happened. I have to say, like, it was not easy to. It's funny because I was never really about sponsors. I don't really like the politics. Um, but I have to say, me leaving Almaty, I felt a bit shitty about it after a bit because it didn't happen in the way I wanted it to happen. And then I completely lost touch with everybody from the Almaty team. But I made it up. I reached out a couple of years ago, last year, and I wrote to the person that used to own Almaty, and I said, "Hey, I feel shitty about this. Let's talk about it." So we talked about it, and we're all good now. I know Almaty went on with apparently a whole thing which I wasn't aware of. So there's no point discussing that anyway. But that's what happened pretty much after Mr. Still sent me his frame. I was able to have a multi-frames fleet instead of just flying the same brand. And I think it's a good thing overall. I think you should try to get out of things that you're used to just to try it, because you never know if you might end up, swapping over. And now I'm proud to support, an Australian brand. So, that's just how it happened.
My first 5-inch frame that I flew was Impulse RC Reverb. I flew it for probably like 2 years or something. I think that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the Apex was out then too. I don't remember.
I think the reverb was before the Apex. The reverb happened just after the Alien. So reverb was the it was probably 2018, I think. No, 17, and it was made by um what's his name, the Australian pilot. Crap, Chad Nowak, but I forgot his Final Glide.
Yeah,
You remember? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I tried to ask him to come on, but he never messaged me back. That was a couple. That's why. That was probably like 2 years ago. I messaged him on Instagram and said, "Hey, do you want to come on
Yeah.
my stream?" He never messaged me back. But I still have a couple of those frames. I kind of thought about like giving somebody to use, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to get rid of them because I remember flying them for so long. I kept fixing
Yeah.
it. Zorro's in
Mhm.
here now. What's up, Zorro?
Ah!
Super Deluxe sent the bat signal or the Zorro signal.
The Zorro signal. Yes. I can see him. Yeah. I mean him. His little handle in the chat.
Let me see. I think I got all my questions.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. I've had it, I've had it stream and then finish. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't ask what I wanted to ask. I got everything cool. Is there anything like you guys want to ask or anything before we get off here? Do you want to say anything? Do you have any what's your future like? I know like you want to get a whoop, but like, are you still gonna even if you don't fly FPV, are you still gonna do your podcast some?
Yeah, oh, that's a good question. Yeah, like podcast, I had a long break at some stage as well because I got a bit busy and a bit tired. And with the time zones from being in Australia, I found that's an extra step that you always have to think about. And sometimes I would wake up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. to be able to have someone on the guest, which is totally fine. But I after a while I was like, oh, it's a lot of effort, and I needed a break. But I wanted to start a new series, which I started last month with Schizo, which is about talking the old days of FPV, and that's why I said Johnny agreed to come on that, and I hope he will end up joining this series. Still has said yes already, but he's a busy man. We need to find time. But there's also other people I want to get on the podcast that are maybe less well known, but that I know were there at the beginning. So there's a friend from Australia that I want to get on this series that I have not had on the podcast yet. So it's like creating this idea of a series is my current motivation to keep on recording, because that's a fresh theme that I can talk about, and that's also something I want to talk about because I've been out of the hobby for so long. I have nothing to say about the current thing, unfortunately. So I'm like, well, let's talk about something that at least I know of, which is the old days. And I thought, oh, is it going to sound like grandma is talking about the old days? And I was a bit worried about that. But the first episode that came out got actually also a lot of like compliments. People were like, oh, it felt good to learn about this because I wasn't in a hobby at that time. Or some people were like, I was in a hobby at that time and I'm out now, but when I saw the episode I was like, yeah, let's listen to that. So apparently it makes people as happy as I am to listen to it, so it's good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do want to hear about like the old school or whatever you want to call it. I mean, some
Hmm.
people probably don't care at all, but I mean, I'd say majority of FPV people probably do want to hear like stuff before they were in. I definitely do. That's why I said like it's so hard for me because I've been in for so long now. Like, there's not very many people that are even involved a little bit with FPV that's been in longer than me now. Like, it sucks. Like every once in a while, like I'll talk to somebody like and like, oh yeah, I've been in since 2017. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And they're like, yeah, I just didn't post videos until 2020 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So
Yes, I agree. Yes.
there's a bunch of questions, but I don't know. Favorite drift car and motor, unlimited money.
Favorite what? Drift car.
Yeah.
S13 because it's my partner's car. Also, it looks cool.
Favorite type of dog food. For
Aldi because
dog
it's cheap.
for
It's cheap
dogs.
and it's good value.
Super deluxe. Favorite. What's your favorite type of dog food for humans? Super deluxe,
Ah,
not for dogs.
for you. I don't know about that. I've never tried it.
Captain Kazi wants to hear you play the keys.
Ah, ooh, yes. This is. It would be better playing the guitar, to be honest, than this because this I'm still learning.
Let's see, fresh pineapple, not canned.
Fresh pineapple. I can't really see the question because I'm behind. My YouTube has a lag. I can see favorite type of socks. That's Zoro. I like low cut because I'm a millennial.
Yeah, back in the day, if you had long socks, you were old. Then it was you had to have short. Now if you have
Yeah.
short socks, you're.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, did you see that? Like your screen just went red for a second. I don't know if that was my end or your end.
Oh, I think my battery is actually low on my computer, and I don't
Oh,
have my charger here, so I hope it's gonna be okay to finish. Oh, actually, I do have my charger. Let me make sure it's working. I don't want to be like bye without without saying properly bye. Hold on. So
yeah, I
it
thought
was a
so.
nice chat.
Yeah, I had fun. It was cool to hear your stories. Um,
Hmm.
I put your podcast in the chat. I'll do it again. You guys go
Thank
check your
you.
podcast out, and let me go find it
We
again.
we should do an episode together.
That's cool. I'd love to. That'd be really cool.
Hmm. Okay, I just plugged my laptop, so at
All right,
least we can wrap it. We can wrap the episode up properly when you need to wrap it up.
I'm sharing your podcast right now. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Yeah, get a whoop and go see if you can fall back in love. Like, I'm not at the end of FPV, but like it is tough. Like, I don't know, like fixing stuff like we said earlier is like so hard for me now.
Mm.
Like if I had unlimited money and I could just like buy all new and or pay somebody to fix my stuff and go fly and not have to worry about messing with
Yeah.
it. Like I would probably fly more, but
You know, it's funny you say that. Recently, when I was wondering if I should get a hoop or something, I was like, also, should I just get a bind and fly? That's when I realized that everything is ELRS on that now.
I
But there was this frame at the time, but it's probably not as popular now. That was called the Nazgul. And I was like, oh, and because I love Lord of the Rings, I was like, oh, I wonder if they still do the Nazgul and if I can get a bind and fly to that. But I really dropped the idea because I think it's a bit dumb to do that. I'm better off trying to get a whoop to do all the things that we discussed, because I think I will get more flight time with the whoop than another 5 inch,
I I'm pretty sure TBS has a whoop
Ah,
with a built-in receiver. I could be wrong, but
mhm.
I think they have one now.
Okay.
Um,
I might
so I don't
message
know.
Trappy even.
Yeah, I had him on like probably a year ago or something. I don't remember, and it was
Hmm.
insane hearing his stories. He's like the OG of the OGs. But like
Yeah.
like stuff he was talking about. But I think somebody might know in the chat, but I'm pretty sure they have a Whoop that has a built-in
Mm.
crossfire. I think it's new. Like I think it just came out. Like with, I mean, when I say new, it probably could have been a year ago, and it seems like it was 2 months ago. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'd check with him or look. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Whoops are
Thank you.
fun.
I'll have a look because I didn't know.
Crossfire so 2016. Yeah, it's 2020. It's still 2016, right? I'm just kidding. 20.
Yeah. Because Crossfire, there was something else that TBS put after. Um, I
Yeah.
forgot what.
Um. I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't. It didn't do that good. I don't think. I think some people still have it, but
Yeah.
I think
Ah.
ELRS came out at like the exact same time, and ELRS was cheaper, so people
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
switch over.
Hmm.
I can't think of what it was called though. Um,
I didn't have enough coffee to remember.
yeah, Tracer. I knew somebody would
Mm,
remember,
yes,
but
that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure they have a actual Crossfire whoop. I don't know. I could be making that up, but I would definitely look into it.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'll probably have a look even after this call.
Um, yeah, and I'll send you the video too of what I watched about uh, on film, like developing film. Like that's another part of the hobby you might think is fun. I don't know. You might hate it. It's I don't know, but it's cool. You're into film too, but it's like 8:30 here almost.
Okay.
Um, let me see if there's any questions. Still never had. I fail safe on Crossfire a couple times.
Hmm.
Somebody said they never fail safe on Crossfire.
I even when I used to fly a lot, almost every day, I don't think in different various spaces, like various locations, sorry. I don't think so. I hope I'm not lying. Did I fail safe from Crossfire? No, not really. I don't think so.
I have, but I think it was mainly because of my environment. Like I was in close to a cell phone tower.
Ah, yes, probably.
Did you when you started out flying? What did you use? Spectrum or FR Sky?
I had FR Sky and I had an old controller. I remember my first Taranis, but the controller I had, God, I need to check. It makes me want to check my very old videos to see what I had, but it was definitely not Spectrum.
I had spec. I started out on Spectrum because that's what came with that Whoop.
Hmm. Yes.
I was going back in the chat to see if anybody had any other questions. I don't see any. What's up, cats? Best robot lady ever. I don't know what that is. Hell, remember you, me? Oh yeah, cat. Cat's trying to come up. All right,
Someone said the higher the socks, the downer the fool.
I didn't see that.
That's funny.
Super Deluxe Trappy got high socks too.
I do have high socks, but they're under my jeans, so you can't see that I have high socks.
I have high socks on too because it's cold outside.
Yes.
I have a long sleeve shirt underneath my t-shirt, and I have sweatpants on, and my heater's going. My electric bill's crazy. My electric bill just went up like twice as much last month because it's been so cold.
How cold is it in, well, if you tell me Fahrenheit, I will be able to convert it.
Let's see. Right now it's, let me look. Yesterday it was 57 degrees Fahrenheit, and today right
Ooh.
now it's 25.
Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty cold.
Mo-
So that's -3. You're in the negative on the Celsius
Mon-
scale.
Monday it was like it was I think it was -1 and it felt like -11 or something here. It was like really really cold. And I haven't been
Oh my
able,
God.
yeah, it was crazy.
Like -1 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's cold. Where
Yeah.
do you live?
I live in Ohio, which is kind of close to Canada on the
Ah,
East
that's why you
Coast.
were able to go to Canada and
Yeah.
speak with the French Canadian.
Yeah. Like I'm like I can be in Canada in like 3.5 hour drive or something. Like Canada's close to me. Quebec was like
Mhm.
12 hour drive, I think, maybe 14. I can't remember, but
Oh yeah.
it's not
So,
far.
which of the big cities are you close to? I'm looking at the map now.
Cincinnati is
Okay.
that's where I'm going tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a school there, and my son has a basketball game, and so I'm gonna go. That school's like it's like right by the river, so it's kind of by Kentucky. Of course, Cincinnati's right on the river, but yeah, I'm about 30 miles. I don't know how many kilometers north of Cincinnati.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh, there's a Springfield in Ohio. Sorry, I'm just now I'm looking at the geography.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes,
nice.
when Springfield they had like from The Simpsons they had a
Yeah,
like a contest to see which Springfield in the United States was the one
the
from,
closest.
yeah, and like I remember the Springfield here was in on, I don't remember what it was like who had the contest, but it was just
Mhm.
funny because Springfield.
Yeah.
Let me see. Closer to 4 from Canadian border from here. All right. Well, I know Jimmy. I know Cleveland's 3.5, and it's like
Hmm.
right on the lake.
Yeah, the lake is the lake the border pretty much.
Yeah, like if you go into Lake Erie, like eventually you'll be in Canadian water. Like the first time I went to Canada, I was a little kid, and my uncle owned a fishing, like a big boat, like would take fishing tours out in Lake Erie. And he like we went to Canadian waters. Like the lake's crazy. Like it looks like an ocean. Like you can't see land. It's like
Oh yeah, it
it's
looks
so
pretty
big.
big.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. We went up there um, probably a month ago and like staying on the. I mean, it's not like a nice beach or anything. It's like a port, but like you can just look out at the water forever, and it's like you can't see land. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can see Detroit is on like the kind of northeast of the lake.
Yeah,
And that's yeah, I went to Detroit and I didn't realize how close to Canada I was, to be
yeah.
honest.
Detroit's like a 5 minute drive from Canada, really. I think.
Mm,
Um, because if you drive from my area to Detroit, like you can cross over into Canada like probably 20 miles maybe before you get to Detroit. There's actually like a crossover.
okay. I wasn't aware of that when I went there.
Yeah,
You know,
you're.
people always make fun of Americans not knowing European geography, but but it's normal because we as Europeans don't know your geography. So
Yeah, we just it's easy to make fun of us, I think. So that's why.
yeah, it's unfair because like if you actually look at the size of the it's a country that you have. It's our size of Europe, you know. So of course we yeah. It's not because you're one country that you're supposed to know every details in Europe. It's like if you expect people from Europe knowing every detail of every state in America, it's not achievable.
Yeah, it's crazy you were in Detroit though and didn't realize you were right there. I don't like I,
No, I knew I to be honest, looking at the map when I was in Detroit, I thought I was about the same height as Chicago, and more closer that way to like more away from Ohio, a little bit, you know. But I didn't realize I was right there in that little corner, so close to the lake you were talking about. Like I thought I was more, yeah, away from the border. Like obviously I didn't think I was, you know, in the center of the U.S., but it's very close to the border.
I've been to Detroit and flew. We went to it was the old I think it was a Packard where they used to make cars back in the day. They tore it down now, but it was like a crazy banda. It was really fun.
I wonder if it's where I went
I
as
don't know.
well.
Did you post a video from there?
Don't remember. Um,
Like it was a famous bando, and we went. Let's see, and I think it was not this. It was in April. It was on 420. I don't think it was this 420. I think it was a 420 before, and
hmm
so 2023, I
So,
think. And they tore it down like soon after we were there.
so it would be on your channel, right?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll try to find it. It sucked though because it was cold. Like it was it was springtime, and it
Mm-hmm.
was been nice. And then that weekend it got like super cold and windy. Plus we went even farther up north, and it was like I don't know. I mean, it didn't suck. It was fun because we were flying a really crazy bando. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll send you that video. Um, the chat's going crazy. Yeah, Isaac from Aerial Outlaws cat. He's cool. He Oh, before I forget, I was gonna say this earlier. And Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my channel, we're having our second annual Christmas um, live stream. We have like over $1,300 in giveaways. We're gonna have 30 prizes. Somebody may or may not dress like Santa. It's gonna be me, Props Off, and Hypnos. But I was gonna say something earlier during the stream and I forgot. So everybody come watch that. That's Sunday. So 2 days.
Yay.
Yeah, we've been working on that. And then I was like, whenever we scheduled this for today, I was like, I was thinking it was our our stream for the Christmas was the next week. I'm like, oh my god, that's 2 days, 2 days after. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it worked out. But yeah, I wanted to give my second annual Christmas special a shout. We're gonna have about 30 giveaways. We're gonna actually fly whoops live. We're gonna have reindeer games, flying whoops. So it'll be fun.
That's so cool. How do you what do you film when you fly well, maybe I guess I just stream. I just go to your stream and I figure it out
Yeah.
when I
Well,
watched in 2 days.
Hypnos. I don't know if yeah, Hypnos is still in here. Hypnos is a mastermind behind like he. I mean, I have ideas. Props Off has ideas, but Hypnos, we go to his house, and he's got like a crazy setup in his basement and like whoop gates and he's his like backup PC is like 10 times nicer than my main PC and he's very smart with stuff like that. He like made the wheel like people type stuff in, make a wheel and
Mhm.
I don't know. He's been working very hard for like a month or something, maybe longer. So shout out to you, Hypnos. Thank you, buddy. Um, I don't know how he does everything. You'd have to ask him if you have any questions.
No worries, I will.
Last year it started out like it props off. I've been trying to get him to come on my stream forever, and he was scared to be in front of the camera. And then finally he was like, "I'll come on." And then like one thing led to another, and we're like, "Well, let's act like it's going to be a normal stream." And then like a half hour into our stream, it was just like me and you talking. Hypnos like hijacked the stream, and people's like, "What's going on?" And then we went into our Christmas special and started doing giveaways, and a bunch of people sponsored. Like this year, we have Aerial Outlaws, Fly Tribe, Brecht. Um, I don't know. I need to look at my list. Like 14, we have 14 sponsors. Like last year was kind of crazy. We had like $700 in giveaways, and this year just like went insane. Like anybody we asked like sent more than what we even thought. Like I asked
Wow.
somebody like, "Hey, do you want to send us some stickers and some whatever battery straps?" And they'd be like, "Yeah," and then they'll be like, send you know like Isaac from Aero Outlaws. I asked him for some stickers and maybe a gift card, and he sent me like 15 Whoop batteries to give away, and
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, so like it's crazy this year. I'm excited. Um, Santa will definitely be there. I don't know which one. Guess who's going to dress up like Santa? Chat. Can you guys guess? It won't be me. But yeah, that's in 2 days, so you guys should go check it out. It's on my channel, six Eastern Standard Time.
What time is it at your place? You said 8 something right now, right?
Yeah,
8:30.
yeah. Do you go by AM and PM? It's PM here. It's night here.
Mm.
Yeah, Hypnos. We have all kinds of good stuff to give away. Um, it's exciting. It's crazy. It's almost Christmas time. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it went by quickly.
But I'm tired and I'm thirsty. uh, it's crazy. It's been going on for over 2 hours, but um, time flies. But do you want to say
Yes.
anything before we cut it off?
Say anything? Oh, look, thank you so much for having me. It was good. Like, it was nice to have someone reach out. Speaking of, you were saying I like to reach out at the beginning. I thought it was awkward, but I always do because it's nice to be invited to something to just chat and chill. It was very good. You have a really good show, and I'll make sure I'll have a look on the well in 2 days. It's gonna be Monday morning for me, but I'm on holiday, so I'll have a look at your Christmas live stream.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Definitely watch it. Um, all right, thank you guys. I'll see everybody Sunday in about less than 2 days. It's almost 9, so I don't want to do the hours. 45 hours from now. I'll see you guys.